Seriously, how many times have you heard the announcer say, quote unquote, "You couldn't script this any better," or "This is a Hollywood ending"? Wake up, people. The NFL is listed as an entertainment company. The NFL doesn't want to be this vicious, hard-hitting league like it was 20, 30 years ago. They want to be this league where everybody's happy, everybody gets paid, and like I said, entertainment. Today, I present to you a video that it just doesn't have to be made. It must be made, and that is why people hate the NFL. Did that intro sound hype enough? I don't know. I hope it did. But anyways, locking in, getting down to business, I've come to find out a lot of people, they're in the same boat as me. A lot of us on this channel, we love, and let me repeat this, we absolutely love the sport of college football. We eat, breathe, sleep college football, and to a certain extent, it is life or death. Well, okay, not really. I don't know why I said that. It's not life or death, but for me at least, and I think a lot of you are the same way, whether our team wins or loses in college football, it normally determines how our next week's gonna be. The greatest example I can give you is when I was a kid. I remember in middle school, if my team lost, I didn't want to go to school Monday, and sometimes I didn't. I'm not joking, that's how bad it was, at least for me in the state of Alabama. If we lost, and when I say we, I'm referring to my team Alabama, you didn't want to go to school, not just Monday, but that entire week because you knew what all of your classmates were going to say. I'll never forget that feeling. It was one of the most dreadful feelings in the world, and I'll never forget going to school after the kick six. And keep this in the back of your mind, I wasn't even a fan that talked a lot of crap. If you was one of those kids in middle school and high school talking nonstop crap leading up to the game and then you lost, I don't even know how you felt. It's humbling to say the least. Because not only did I know all the other Auburn fans and Tennessee and Georgia fans were going to talk about it, but the teachers even talked about it. I can't speak for the West Coast, I can't speak for up north, but at least in the Southeast, it's a way of life. It's a livelihood, the emotions leading up to the game, the hype and stress during the game itself, and what happens after the game, you can't find that feeling anywhere else. Whoa, 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 hold on. I know exactly what you're sitting there saying. Yo, Matt, okay, I understand that. Why are you talking about college football? This is supposed to be about the NFL. My friend, patience, Grasshopper, we're getting there. Just stay with me and hear me out. With all that being said, it leads me into my next point perfectly. Everything I just said about the game of college football, why fans love it so much, the NFL, it's not that. You know what? Hold on. Let me reach out this comment that somebody put on the last video when we talked about the NFL. Seriously, how many times have you heard the announcer say, quote unquote, "You couldn't script this any better," or "This is a Hollywood ending"? Wake up, people. The NFL is listed as an entertainment company. Interesting. Let me know what y'all think about that. Key word, or not word really, my bad. Key phrase in that entire sentence or paragraph, whatever you want to call it, is entertainment company. I also saw many of you saying stuff like this: the NFL is no different from the WWE. I'll touch on that in just a second, but let me give you my perspective on the NFL and where I stand on it. I've loved college football ever since I was a kid and could really understand what was going on. So around the age, I would say, not 6, but around 7 or 8 years old. I love college football since day one. However, when it comes to the NFL, I never cared. Growing up, did I watch the NFL when it was on TV? Yes, but outside of that, there was no emotional attachment. Before I go any farther, if you're an NFL fan listening to this, I'm not trying to convince you to hate the NFL. If that's your cup of tea, that's good for you. We're all different types of people. There's guys out here that are watching this video, they don't like blonde chicks, they like brunette chicks. There's girls out here who like certain types of men, and as sports fans, we all like different things. Believe it or not, there's actually people out here who enjoy watching baseball. I can go to a baseball game, but watching it on TV, no, I just can't do that, but a lot of people enjoy it. I could go on and on, I think you get my point. I like different things, you like different things, we're all different types of people. So just because I don't love the NFL, it doesn't mean my next door neighbor, he couldn't love it. You see where I'm starting to go with this, but, and I have a big but, I've noticed something the past couple of weeks. To go more into detail, I've always noticed this, but I've noticed it a lot more in the past couple of weeks. With the NFL, and yes, let me throw this disclaimer in there is going to be your diehard fans, but for the most part, there's not that emotional attachment like it is with the college football level. I want you to think about this, really think about this. When you see or think of an NFL fan, what do you think of? Me personally, outside of the few that paint their face and go crazy, when I think of an NFL fan, I think of a man or woman who wants to go to the game game, kick back and drink a beer and enjoy some entertainment. Are they going to be loud and obnoxious at times? Yes, but that's what happens when you give grown men alcohol. You kind of get the vibe and feel like a lot of these NFL fans, they just want to see another grown man tackle and hurt another grown man. It is straight up entertainment. And ladies and gentlemen, I don't want to dive too deep into detail with this, but that's why they get paid the most amount of money out of any profession in the entire world. Pro football players, pro basketball players, and pro baseball players will always be the highest paid people in this world. Why is that, you may ask? Well, number one, they bring in the money, but number two, it distracts everybody else. Football distracts your normal and everyday people like me and you from the real problems in this world. We've talked about this a little bit already, but the higher ups, they want you going to a football game and forgetting about the real life problems for 3 or 4 hours. Okay, let me chill out on that. I'm not going to get into that entire mess because I could talk about that topic alone for 15-20 minutes. Like I said, to sum it up, when you think of an NFL fan, you think of a guy that wants to drink a beer and have a good time. On the flip side, when you think of a college football fan, let me just tell you straight up, they are different breeds. When I say different breeds, I mean this. I think most college football fans of their favorite team, if they really keep up with the game, they could tell you a fun fact from 2004. A lot of these college football fans, they can tell you where they were sitting and where they was at during a game in 1993. These college football fans, and I'm a part of y'all, we're crazy, but it's crazy in a good way. When you think of a college football fan though, you don't think of somebody who just wants to be entertained, kick back and drink a beer. You think of someone who is highly invested in that team. Whether that's they're an alumni or they was born in that state or they currently go to the school, you're thinking of somebody who is highly engaged. For example, most NFL fans, they lose. They're like, it is what it is. We'll get them next week. When a college football fan, their team loses, they freak out. It's like, crap, man. It is very similar to a breakup. You're talking about emotional damage, and it's the same thing when I told you I didn't want to go to school on a Monday following a loss on a Saturday. It's straight up sickening. It's to the point where you don't even want to turn on SportsCenter the next 3 days because you know they're going to talk about it. There's emotional attachment there. There's a bond there you're not going to find really anywhere else in any pro sport. I'm going to give you another great example. Do you ever see pictures or videos of fans crying after their favorite NFL team loses? No. When you see these viral pictures and videos of fans crying, it's normally after a college basketball game or a college football game. If that doesn't go to show you and prove my point that there's an emotional attachment at the college level that you can't find at the NFL or NBA level, I don't know what will. And that's what makes winning so sweet, but it's also what makes losing so terrible. What's the difference though? Why at the college level there's this emotional attachment where fans care? I will say this, they care a little bit more than NFL fans. What's the difference? Well, reason number one, and it goes hand in hand with what I just said, college players care way more than NFL players. Why is that? Oh, it's fairly obvious, and I can't blame the NFL players because I'd have the same mentality. At the college level, the players care about the game so much. It's all they care about whatsoever. They put their all into it 100% of the time. When they lose, it actually looks like it hurts the team. You're not going to see a team lose at the college level and they're going to be smiling and joking after the game. However, on the flip side for the NFL, totally different. You'll see teams in the NFL get blown out, lose on a last second field goal, yada yada yada, and they'll be smiling, taking pictures, trading jerseys after the game. Why is that? Because they have the mentality of, hey, I don't really care if I lose this game. It's a regular season game. Who cares? I'm getting paid millions of dollars. The NFL players have the mentality of, we're in the entertainment business. I entertained, I lost, who cares? I'm still getting paid. Can't blame the guys because I'd be in the same boat. It's not just sort of. I think this is a cold hard fact. The NFL is losing every single year, slowly starting to lose that competitive edge. And don't even get me started on the late hits and now you can't even tackle the quarterback without it being a flag. The NFL doesn't want to be this vicious, hard-hitting league like it was 20, 30 years ago. They want to be this league where everybody's happy, everybody gets paid, and like I said, entertainment. The NFL doesn't want to be this vicious league with hard hits nonstop. They want to be a league where they bring in a ton of ratings. Their main goal isn't football. Their main goal is entertainment. Whereas at the college level, I think the main goal is football. So since these players could really care less at the end of the day whether they lose or not, they just want to get paid, that's why I think people have a hard time trying to form that emotional attachment with the NFL. That's why for me, I have a hard time trying to form that emotional attachment with any NFL team or game. When I was younger, like I said, I didn't really care about the NFL, but the older I get, I have been watching it way more. Every single year, it feels like I watch it more and more. However, I'd be lying to you if I said I had an emotional attachment. I don't care about the games. I view it as nothing more as entertainment. I've said this before, I'm going to say it again. I don't have a favorite team in the NFL. The only thing I really root for is for my Alabama players to do good. But still, even though I don't have a horse in the race, I'll watch college football games, for example, Auburn and Texas A&M, and I'll still have an emotional bond in that game because the players care. If the players care, that means I'm going to care more when I'm watching it. At the NFL level, the players don't care. And let me make this clear if I haven't already. I feel like I have, but I'm going to say it again. I understand it. As competitive as I am, I also would lose my competitive edge if I'm getting paid millions of dollars to lose games. It is what it is. I could fathom a loss a little bit more if you paid me $1 million a game. I'll give you a great example. The Alabama-Tennessee game. As bad as that hurt me, it have made me feel a little bit better if you told me, hey Matt, Alabama's going to lose this game, but we're going to give you $500,000. It made me feel better and I wouldn't feel as bad. And last but not least, this is my final point, and I'm not going to speak on it too much because we already have. A lot of people think it's rigged. And it's for obvious reasons, but let me read you off this comment. Levi Singleton said, as a Falcons fan, that watched my team just stop playing in the second half, and when they actually got in field goal range with a chance to lock the game away, Matt Ryan just ran backwards and fell over to take them out of field goal range. Seems legit. I remember that game like it was yesterday, and I'm going to offer you guys this. We're not talking about college kids. I could understand college kids blowing a 28-3 lead. We are talking about not just an NFL pro team. We're talking about one of the two best NFL pro teams in the entire world, which was the Falcons. The other top two team in that game, obviously, was the Patriots. So you mean to tell me a professional football team can somehow play one of the best halves of their life in the first half, yet in the second half, really the end of the third quarter on, they can be terrible? How do you explain that to me? How do you explain to me a team, which is the Falcons in this scenario, are moving the ball up and down the field nonstop, their defense is playing lights out, then all of a sudden their offense can't even get 5 yards and their defense can't stop anything? How does that happen? And yet again, for the new people coming to the channel, I'm the last person to believe in a conspiracy theory, but I've seen a lot of you say this in the comment section. Yo, Matt, you're not even talking about a conspiracy theory, it's just common knowledge, and I agree. Anybody with a logical, functioning brain would question this stuff. It's the same thing with the Jaguars and the Chargers. The Chargers offense and defense were playing out of their mind, and then in the second half, the offense can't get a first down, and the defense can't stop Jacksonville once. The counter argument to that is always going to be, oh, Matt, well, momentum is a real thing, and I do agree that I play sports, and momentum, yes, it can change a lot. But when you're talking about pros, it can't change that much. However, I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt, and here's the last one I'm going to bring up. Remember the Super Bowl not too long ago with the Ravens and 49ers, and out of nowhere, when one team's blowing out the other, the lights shut off? Seems a little fishy to me. The lights in the biggest game of the year, the most watched event in the world, just happen to shut off when another team's blowing out another team. Well, no, what do you know? Lights cut back on, and then we have a good game because one team lost the momentum. You can't make it up. I've already made this video way too long. I could give you an hour-long video talking about why people hate the NFL. There's no emotional attachment, the players don't care, and there's just something fishy going on behind the scenes. Maybe we make a part 2 of this. You know what? As a matter of fact, if you guys leave some great comments on stuff you want me to bring up in the next video, we'll make a part 2. Let me know your thoughts down below. But,